Tonight, we are joined by our good friend Renato, which we actually had his brother on last edition.
First of all, thanks for this opportunity. I'm happy to share more content about Copilot Studio and also OpenAI as well. So as you mentioned, I'm the Douglas brothers, and also we are producing some content together. So yeah, that's it. I will show a little bit how can you connect both things and also how can you build your Copilot Studio, mainly if you need to build your Azure OpenAI service as well. So when we are talking about this topic, we need to think about the business needs. We need to think about the data, the process that we have, and also sometimes we need to customize different things and also automate different process by using the AI. So with Copilot Studio, we can do that. We are not using not only a low code platform, but we can automate the process and also we can increase the automation inside the business. So that is the idea. When we are thinking about the AI assistant, we can use Copilot Studio, we can use a no-code, low-code platform. But if you have a knowledge to extend, you have over 1,000 connectors available on the Power Platform. And also, if you have knowledge about Azure OpenAI, for example, you can extend by using the AI intelligent chatbots, and also you can connect with your data, and also you can train, you can use large language models and so on. So that is the idea for this session. First of all, let me present myself. My name is Renato. I'm from Brazil, based in Brazil as well. Last year, I have been living in Argentina for a couple of months. So I have a couple of content in YouTube. So if you subscribe in my YouTube channel, it was a pleasure to share some content about Power Platform and AI as well. So we are trying to produce more content in English. So we have some content in Spanish and also in Portuguese as well. Most of the content is in Portuguese. And also we have a community that you can join us in the learning room. So you can I will send the link on the chat as well. So basically with this link, it's a learning room. We are trying to make weekly lives and also producing some content about Power Platform as well. The idea is to have a way to share jobs and also to share contents. If you have any questions during the week, you can send the questions as well there. And also with this QR code, you can connect with me. You can send me a message on LinkedIn if you have any questions. Right now, I'm a senior Power Platform developer in Storm Technology in Ireland. And also, that is the reason that I'm following different time zones. I'm working for them, following the Dublin time zone. And also, I woke up 4 a.m. and also it's 9 p.m. right now. But I'm happy to share more content. Yesterday, we had a live sharing more content about Power Platform and how using the Power Platform Wave 2 for 2024. And also, that is the idea. We are sharing content all the time. Let me start with the demo, and later we can explain the process that we have and also the different places and also different technologies that we are using. How can you build your Copilot? How can you build your AI assistant? But first of all, let's start by using the Copilot Studio. The Copilot Studio, I will explain later about this tool, but basically Copilot Studio is a platform that we can build chatbots, and mainly we can build artificial intelligence assistant by using a low-code platform. And then we can extend, we can deploy the same Copilot, we can deploy the same chatbot across different channels, across multiple channels. So if we are using a Teams as the mainly channel for our end user, we can develop by using this tool, and then we can push to Teams. If you are using Microsoft 365 Copilot, you can do the Copilot Studio for this tool as well. Or if you need to extend to WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook, or anything else, you can do it as well. So the benefit of using Copilot Studio, you can have um, one chatbot, and also we can have multiple channels. So basically, this is the test panel. So I will show how can you deploy to different channels later. But basically, with this test place here, this test dialog, we can test like search. Oh, I have a couple of phrases here, and then I will show you how can you use different phrases, and also how can you prepare your Copilot to use different topics. But basically, in this tool here, we have a web content that we are searching across the Microsoft Learn documentation for Copilot Studio. And also have another topic that is using for local files like PDF, PowerPoint presentations, and so on. And also I have the third one that is using AI only, AI using GPT-4. So in this case, I can use the first one that is web content. So basically I can use web content like I have a Copilot Studio and need to deploy the chatbot to Teams. Basically, when I send this message, behind the scenes, Microsoft Copilot Studio is using an AI assistant connected with Azure OpenAI. The benefit of using Azure OpenAI instead of using just OpenAI is because when we have the Azure OpenAI, we have the Microsoft security. If we are storing the data under the Microsoft side, we are not sharing it externally. We only have the data on our side, on the Microsoft side. So in this case, it's the best way to use this one. So as you can see, we have a JSON structure. The JSON structure, basically I'm following the same structure. Let me copy this information. If I'm not wrong, I paste the Portuguese documentation, but that's fine. We can change this information later because we have another demo. But basically, in this JSON structure, basically we have the step and the action. Basically, the step is access the Microsoft Teams and logging into your account. And the step two, use the left menu and click on the apps. And then basically we have step by step by using this way here. Why we have a JSON structure? Because we have a custom prompt. We have a system prompt that we can customize to have different responses based on the data that we have. That is the first example. I will show you how can you manipulate this information later, but it's just an example. I have another one that is I can ask anything about Power Apps, for example, or anything about Power Platform in general. What is Power Apps, for example? What I can do with this tool. And basically, in the second demo that I have, it's using just an AI. So there is an AI connected with the service. And basically, as you can see, why is using Portuguese always? Let me check here the settings, because probably the language is in Portuguese. Let me just check the. No, it's in English. Probably the Copilot. I have configured the token to use something in Portuguese. But basically, let me ask anything about AI again. The perps. What is perps? And later we can configure this information on the Copilot. So basically, we have a citation and also what we have. And basically, the reason that we have this information is because we have some data, we have some PowerPoint presentations, and also we have some PDF files as well. That is the reason that we have the data source, and basically the data source is using the information that we have on behind the scenes, and then it's converting the information and provide this information internally to me as well. And also I have another Copilot. This first two is really simple, but I think that when we are building a Copilot, we are not building a Copilot just to have quick questions and answers into the chatbot. We are building to automate a process for the business. So in this case, I was talking internally with my with the company that I have been working on since 2020. And also I was showing the Copilot Studio, and also they were telling me that it's not possible to implement this on the company. So I was showing just an example that we can do a lot of things. For example, if you need to build a Copilot Studio, a chatbot that you can ask anything, if you, for example, you are building a new project for the company, and also you are developing a Power Automate Cloud Flow. You have 5 cloud flows, and also we have 2 Canvas apps as well. And then you have another desktop flow. So basically you have the project ready. You can push to live, and also you can push to the client environment, and that's fine. The business analyst probably needs to build a documentation using the technical side, not the technical side, but the business side. So using the proposal with the commercial information plus the technical side. But if you need to document the product that you build, to document the cloud flow, to document the Canvas apps by using an automation tool, you can build by using you can build by using Copilot Studio. In this case, when you build a solution and also it's ready, you can ask just a Copilot to use your solution to document the cloud flow or to document the entire solution, and then you can push this information, this response into a document, and then you can send it to the client. So you can automate the process. Instead of sharing the information that we already have, you can basically connect your AI assistant with the structure behind the scenes, the cloud flow that you already have, or the Canvas app that you already have internally, and basically you can share this information quickly. So that is the idea. So basically, if I open the Copilot, I have a simple Copilot here, but basically inside this Copilot, I have a topic that we have the get cloud flow details. So in this case, cloud flow details, and then my 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 chatbot is searching for all existing workflows that I have on my environment. As you can see, I have a lot of workflows, and also I have a lot of environment as well. So in this case, these we are showing the display name and also the ID that we can use. So in this case, there's a flow called populate a Microsoft Word template. Basically, I can copy this ID, and also I can paste because I have a message, please paste the flow ID here. So basically I can paste the workflow. And then I have the flow documentation here, basically the flow JSON structure. And basically with this flow JSON structure, basically I can paste into the AI, and basically the AI can generate this documentation. Or I can use directly the information that I already have on the workflow, on the Copilot Studio, and send it to the AI, and the AI can document this information. We will do it during this session. That is the idea. So let me go back to the presentation. So basically the idea for today is to define the user. Who is our user when we are building an AI assistant, when we are building a Copilot Studio mainly. Best practice. So when we are defining the Copilot, and mainly when we are using Microsoft 365 and Power Platform, because we have different ways to build our AI assistant. And mainly when we need to think about the license, because we have different costs if we are using different tools, if we have different channels. So it's really important as well. Terms to know, connectors, and then the demo again using the AI assistant. So first of all, let's start with the Microsoft Copilot Studio. Microsoft Copilot Studio is a tool launched in 2019. It was called Power Virtual Agents initially, and then Microsoft was trying to improve this tool since 2020, but it was really difficult because it was too expensive to use this tool. Initially, it was $2,000 dollars per month just to use the AI. And also, Microsoft was trying to implement different AIs and also by using a low code and no code experience. And also with Microsoft Copilot Studio, we had Bot Framework Composer that we can integrate using AI, but also we had ChatGPT and also OpenAI 2 years and a year ago. It was really good for Microsoft because Microsoft was trying to connect both things, and also that is the idea. Now we have Azure OpenAI inside Copilot Studio. And last year, Microsoft launched a lot of Copilots. Copilot inside Power Apps, Copilot for Power Automate, Copilot for Power Pages, Copilot inside Microsoft 365. And also, right now, the way that we can build different Copilots and also integrate, extend the Copilot features inside Microsoft tools is by using Copilot Studio. So in this case, first of all, we need to define our user when we are building a Copilot, because we are not just developing a simple Copilot. We need to think about the user and then the type of conversation that we have. Otherwise, we have a gap, because if we are developing a Copilot as a developer, I'm a developer. If I build a Copilot by using my knowledge and also my experience with the chatbots, probably I will have a gap with the end user and also the business user as well, because probably I'm building different phrases that is not useful for the end user. And probably I'm building different actions and also different ways to provide the information for the user. So in this case, we need to think about the conversation that we have, and also probably it's important in this case to provide access to the business user to that specific chatbot, and probably we can train the business user just to show them the possibilities that we have by using this tool, and also not only to provide them the option to develop their own chatbot, but we can provide the information, enough details for them, and then can improve their Copilot. We can build the Copilot for them, and then the idea for later is to provide enough information if they need to improve by using their knowledge on the business. And also, when we are publishing the Copilot, we need to keep in mind that we need to choose a unique channel or multiple channels, and also depending on the type of the channel that we have, probably it will impact on the cost that we have. Because, for example, if we only need to deploy the Copilot Studio on the Teams, we can use Microsoft 365 licenses, and probably you don't need to pay a premium license inside the Copilot Studio. But if you need to use Gen AI, generative answers, connected with Copilot Studio, probably you need to pay a premium license. So in this case, it's really important to think about the architecture and the channels, and also the user that you are designing for the solution for. The best practice, really important as well. Understand your user. So it's not about building a Copilot. It's important to think about the user that we have. So once we have the user, we can understand the process that we have inside the company, and also we can provide different actions. I already built a lot of products and also projects by using different tools like .NET, React, TypeScript, JavaScript, Angular, and so on. And also the Power Platform is the same. We don't need to build different tools. We don't need to automate the process if the user is not, if the tool is not useful for the end user. So in this case, we need to always think about the user. We need to keep the conversation with the user and keep the chatbot, the Copilot, simple and clear. Enough details for the end user, and also include the user at the part of the development. So in this case, we can prevent issues and also problems in the future as well. And also use the right tools. So as I mentioned, we are using Copilot and also Azure OpenAI, but sometimes we are not using Azure OpenAI, or sometimes we are not using Copilot Studio. We need to think about the right tools that we need and also that we have, the options that we have available, and then you can connect different tools later because we have different costs. For example, Azure OpenAI service. If we are consuming the information that we have on the chatbot, probably we have a cost per token. So in this case, if we have 1,000 tokens and also 1,000 users, probably it's consuming a lot of information and also a lot of cost inside Azure as well. So always be inclusive, keep it simple and clear for the end user as well. And also Microsoft is providing, so I don't know if you already know about it, but there's a Microsoft team is working on the tool really cool so let me type the name, Copilot Studio Kit. So there's a tool that Microsoft, the Cloud Advocates team are using, and also they are developing this tool. So if you search for PowerCat Copilot Studio Kit, you'll be able to get more details and also to download different reports and also analysis and also a zip file containing different information. But we already have on the Microsoft Copilot Studio panel, we can look at the analytics and also we can look at the reports and also the reports available using Power BI. And also it's really important to look at the analytics and also understand the options that we already have available on the thanks Gerber. So in
So
this case,
quick question for you, Renato. So, I've built a few, Copilot with Copilot Studio, and the telemetry was pretty good already within Copilot Studio. How does the Copilot Studio kit help extend that? Like, what are some good reasons why somebody should look into the Studio kit?
sorry, can you repeat again?
Yeah, I was just saying, Copilot Studio has some great telemetry already baked in when you're
Mm-hmm.
publishing your own custom Copilot. What was the point of them publishing the Copilot Studio kit? Is it just for additional telemetry, maybe for like larger scale Copilots? Is it for more sophisticated Copilots and bridging the pro code gap? Like, can you think of why or like what is some the main reasons why the audience should go check this out?
Exactly, yeah. The same as we have for Microsoft Gemini Center, Power Platform Gemini Center. So we have a lot of reports, but it's not useful if we need to look at the data. So right now, for example, in the reports available inside Copilot Studio, we can look at the user experience and also look user experience inside the conversation. And also, if I'm not wrong, there's another report that is really cool as well. Let me check here. Let me leave. Now, so I can show you the customer satisfaction. So in this case, we can look at the customer satisfaction and check if my Copilot Studio is working as expected and so on. But sometimes I need to connect the information that I already have with the data behind the scenes. For example, if I need to connect Azure OpenAI with a different database, or if I need to connect a Dataverse with a different database that we already have and also we are consuming behind the scenes, probably we need to customize these reports. And also, by default, we have only these reports. If I need to look at the information behind the scenes or customize the reports and customize the reports for my business, probably I need to use this kit. Because with this kit, we have the Copilot Studio Analytics plus a customization developed by the Microsoft team. It's really cool.
So,
And also we can
if you
implement
have a
those
lot of
reports.
sophisticated, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and also we can report those reports we can deploy into the model-driven apps, for example, and then we can deploy internally and also check this information for the. So, for example, we can share this information with the IT team, and the IT team can check the information on the sessions, the billing. That is really useful when we have a large copilots, for example, because we have we are not paying a license, we are not purchasing a license per user, we are purchasing a license per tenant. So in this case, if we have 5 or 10 copilots by using different information with different users, different departments, probably we are consuming the same billing, and also it's difficult to track across multiple copilots. So in this case, the analytics panel, we can check the information for one copilot. Inside the Power Platform Admin Center, we can look at the analytics for different copilots, but if we need to combine both information, probably the kit should be enough for your business.
That's awesome. Thanks for bringing this up to everybody. So it sounds like when it's you need extensive testing, or you've got a use case where you're bringing in other data sources or switching through different LLMs and doing additional testing, or want to share that telemetry, this is the way to do it. So it's great.
Awesome. So in this case, it's really important to identify the right requirements when we are building the copilots, and also when we are building a chatbot in general, the AI assistant, because otherwise we have not a bad experience, a bad customer satisfaction, because we are developing just a copilot. We need to identify the right requirements, just to start small and scale it up, just using the right tools and also the right process into the Copilot as well. And also it's really important to track the analytics as well, because for example, I built a Copilot for a company, and also just for tests, just a POC, an MVP test. And basically, I published this Copilot and also left the Copilot for a week or 2 weeks. And then when I go back to the analytics, I saw that the customer satisfaction was 20% or 10%. And also the customer was trying to send different messages like, hi, hello, or how are you, by using different ways to send the message. And also my Copilot was failing to get the response. So it's really important to track and also to keep in mind that you need to look at the analytics when you are pushing the Copilot to the client and also to the public as well. Terms that is important to know, the Copilot, that is the AI, the intelligent AI assistant. Generative AI, that basically we have an AI model that is producing the content by using the human-like. So if we have the information available on the web, so basically we are searching this information, and also the large language models that we have GPT-4, GPT-O, GPT-O min, we have GPT 3.5, and also depending on the type, depending on the model that we are using, we have different costs, and also we have a different database as well. For example, let me go to the next slide, and also I can show you the information. For example, GPT-4, we have data after until September 2021. So in this case, it's really important to look at the model that we are using, because sometimes it's not useful for my customer or for my client, because we have a knowledge gap on this information as well. The reg, that is really important. Reg, it's important when we are building with the data that we have. For example, we need to provide the data, the knowledge to the Copilot, and also we have fine tuning as well that is available. Reg and fine tuning is not the same, but could be used at the same time. Reg is cheaper. So in this case, we often use Reg to train the chatbot and also to provide the content, to provide the information, the knowledge base to the Copilot, and the Copilot can train and also can be expert on my data. We have GPTs, that is the models available. We can build plugins. It's in preview yet, and also look at these plugins once you have general availability, because could be a product. So you can build plugins as a product, and also you can share to different clients by using the same plugin. For example, if you are building a Copilot for lawyers. So in this case, you can build a Copilot trained by using different data models, by using different knowledge base, and then you can compile as a plugin, and then you can share to different clients. So in this case, you can have one product and also multiple clients using the same plugin. So it will be a good experience for software house if the software house is building as a product. So as a project as well, but product you can scale up this information. And also we have the connectors available that is available on the Power Platform. Training data. So as I mentioned, so in this case, if you are using, depending on the type of the model that we have a knowledge gap, and also could impact out on the information that you have on the Copilot as well. For example, if you are using GPT 3.5, and also you need to customize, you need to pass the system prompt to the model, probably it's failing because the GPT 3.5 is not following the model, the system prompt. So in this case, it's really important to look at the model and also the model that we are using, and also that is required for my business. Otherwise, it will fail, and also it will cause some problems into your experience. So it's really important as well when we need to build not only a Copilot, but when we need to we need to have a data behind the scenes. For example, I have my own data by using Cloudflows, but if I need to train, so I was building a Copilot last year for the project management, and also we need to train this chatbot to be different. So we have different models. We can use GPT-4, for example, but if you need to have my expert by using my knowledge base, probably I need to train the information, and also I need to train the Copilot. That is the benefit of using Azure OpenAI and also Copilot Studio, because we are not sharing this document externally. So probably if you are using OpenAI only and also ChatGPT, probably it's sharing your document externally, and also probably it should be a problem into your business as well, mainly with GDPR. So basically, it's important to train your Copilot. And also, if you need to train the Copilot, we have different ways. We have different stages. The first stage, basically, we have the simple Copilot that we can build topics and also basically questions and answers here. If we need to customize and also use AI assistant, probably I need to go to the second stage, because in this case here, we can use AI, and also if I have my own data, I can use my knowledge base. So if I have my knowledge base, I can train by using samples and also with questions and answers, and then I can use AI and also knowledge base as well. And then you can have different models as well with different results. And then the third stage, you can use the escalation mode. With the escalation mode is to escalate to a human. So in this case, right now, Microsoft is using omnichannel only, and also some third-party systems. But probably in the future, we will have a Teams channel to escalate this. So it will be really useful to escalate the conversation inside the Teams, and then we can have different channels. There is a feature available that is Microsoft not available yet, but Microsoft is working on this wave, and probably it will be available until May 2025, if I'm not wrong. That is the idea to use the speech. So in this case, we can have a voice, and also we can have a speech, and also we can send image to the Copilot Studio, and then the Copilot Studio will be able to comprehend this image and also the voice, the speech as well. This is really useful mainly when we are talking about escalate with a human, and also to use AI to train based on the data that we have. So it's really useful. And also we have over 1,000 connectors available on the Power Platform, and basically You can automate with Microsoft tools and non-Microsoft tools as well. And also you can automate with the process. For example, I was building last year a product for my customer, and basically we were building a Copilot connected with a Cloudflow, and the Cloudflow was triggering the desktop flow to automate different processes weekly or daily or monthly, and basically we can connect different tools and automate different processes, not only by using online tools but desktop tools as well. The Copilot Studio architecture, basically we have a Copilot, we have user topics and system topics. With the user topics, we can customize, we can delete, we can create new topics. We have system topics that we can turn off, and also we cannot delete them, because basically Microsoft is predefined the topics available in the Copilot, like conversation, user conversation, and also grading, buy, and so on, this type of conversation. Basically, we have the trigger phrases, and Microsoft is improving this type of conversation just to have different ways to start the conversation with the Copilot as well. And also you can integrate with the Power Automate Cloudflow, you can integrate with the bot framework skills as well, if you need to customize. Right now, we already have different options to build it. It's not required to build a bot framework skills, because right now we have Cloudflow and also we have GenAI options available, and also we have adaptive cards into the Copilot as well. GenAI, basically with GenAI we can summarize content based on the app, the website. So if we have your public website, you can connect them into the Copilot Studio. If we have Dataverse tables, for example, you can connect the table as well to read internal information, and also a SharePoint site as well. So I will show you more during this demo here. So let's go to the demo. So if you don't have an environment to build your Copilot, so basically you can start by using a free environment. So you can ask, you can search for Power Platform or Power Apps developer plan. With this developer plan, you'll be able to create your free license. Let me send this link in the chat. So with this free license, you'll be able to start by using a free license internally, and then test, validate if it's working as expected, and then you can purchase a premium license. So we have a question even in the chat. Can we use SharePoint list as a data source for Copilot Studio chatbot? Yes, we can. There are a couple of things that you must think when you are connecting the Copilot Studio with SharePoint list, because right now it's not connecting with the list data, it's connecting with the SharePoint library. So in this case, we are connecting the Copilot Studio with the documents. The document must have at least so maximum 3 megabytes. So in this case, we have a maximum file size inside the library as well. So you can split. So if you have if your document is too large, you can split the same document in multiple documents just to train your Copilot. And also, if you need to use the SharePoint list, SharePoint list as your database, your data source, probably you can connect the SharePoint with your Dataverse as using data flows, and then you can connect the Copilot Studio with the Dataverse, and then you'll be able to sort by using SharePoint list. That is a good option that you can do that. So with the Power Apps developer plan, you'll be able to, no problem. So basically you can open the copilotstudio.microsoft.com, and then you'll be able to start by using Copilot. So when we open the Copilot Studio, basically we have the Copilots on the left-hand side, and also there are a couple of options available that we can start by using a template that is really useful because we already have a website, questions and answers, weather, safe travels, store operations, insights, and so on. And also, if you are building a Copilot Studio for Microsoft 365, probably you need to build the second action. With the second action, we have the Microsoft 365 options, and it's really good to build your Copilot Studio for Microsoft 365 because we can publish your Copilot Studio across Word, documents, PowerPoint presentations, Outlook, and also Teams. And probably in the future we already have Outlook as well. So in this case, across the Microsoft 365, we can use the same Copilot Studio. And also we have 4 different types. The first one is just a connector that we can connect to different data sets. We can connect, for example, to a SharePoint list, or not a SharePoint list, but we can connect to we can connect it to a SharePoint list. Connect to a SharePoint list to extract the information, and then provide the information as a conversation. So inside the conversation, we can provide this as a Copilot. The second option, we can build as a conversational chatbot. The conversational chatbot is basically a Copilot Studio. We can build different user topics, and then we can have a conversation. We can connect to a Cloudflow. We can customize the conversation. We can send out different messages, adaptive cards, and so on. We have a different experience, and also we can customize the actions inside. We have the third one that is called the prompt. With the prompt option, we have the option to use AI Builder, and also we can automate this process. AI Builder is basically a tool inside the Power Platform as well. And basically with the AI Builder, we can extract the sentimentals, we can analyze the document as well. So we extract the information that we have inside the documents, for example, invoice details, and also the contractor details or a contract information. So basically with the prompt, you can integrate with AI Builder, and also you can build your Copilot for Microsoft 365 as well. And the fourth, basically we can develop just a Cloudflow and then basically connect with the Copilot for Microsoft 365. So basically that is the first option. We are not building for Microsoft 365 because I don't have Copilot for Microsoft 365 Copilot for Microsoft 365 license available in this environment. Basically, we can start by using from scratch, and basically we can name our Copilot. So in this case, we can use like Portland, Power Platform, user group. We can change the icon. The best one. We can type the description. We can paste some instructions. That is really important because in this case, basically think that we are building an AI, and also the instructions is kind of the prompt that we need. So because imagine that we have your system prompt, and also you need to provide some information. And also I have a slide here that's really important. Let me check here. I have another presentation that I can show you. I was presenting these for .NET developers. And also I have a slide here. Let me show you an information that is really useful because, for example, if you are building a Copilot and an AI, it's really important to have a prompt engineering because you have different ways to manipulate our prompt. And also with our prompt, you need to imagine that we are providing the information just to a new user, a new employee, employer. So in this case, it's really important to avoid assumptions, to break down problems, and also to provide details. So it's really important when we are building a prompt. And also there are a lot of options that you use as a system prompt. And basically you need to define the option that you are using. So if you need to provide the information like you are a Power Platform specialist, and also you need to act as a Power Apps developer or something like that. Basically, you need to customize your Copilot experience by using this prompt engineering. So in this case, you can change it later. It's not required to use this information right now. You can use the main language for your Copilot, but you can change it later as well. Include different language. You can have a Copilot with multi-language as well. And also you can include a knowledge source here. With the knowledge source, we have a couple options available when we are starting. The first one is a public website and also SharePoint and OneDrive by using documents. So in this case, I create a blank Copilot, and then I will add a knowledge source later when the Copilot is ready. Because when the Copilot is ready, we can include different data sources, not only public website and also SharePoint and OneDrive libraries as well. So yeah, the Copilot is ready. Basically, as you can see here, let me remove this one. So basically, in the screen here, you have the menu. So the first page is the overview that is using your Copilot details. We have the knowledge that we can include our knowledge base. So it's really important when we are managing the data to look at the knowledge that we already have on the Copilot, and probably sometimes we need to split to different Copilots to prevent issues by conflicting the knowledge that we already have. Or if we have a lot of knowledge bases, probably you can look at the Azure OpenAI to do it. We have topics that we can customize our questions and answers into the Copilot as well. Basically, we have the user topics and also system topics. We have the actions that is really useful, and Microsoft is working on this to provide actions inside the Copilot. So in this case, for example, imagine that you are building a Copilot for your company, and also the end user doesn't know about the building an AI or assistant or connect with the data. Basically, you can build different actions and tell the business user just to plug and play the information that we already have. So in this case, you can use actions to do actions inside your data or inside your database, or do different actions, get the information and provide the information to the chatbot, and basically you can send the information to the end user. It's kind of the custom connector that we already have on the Power Platform, because we can build a custom connector as a developer, and also we can provide the custom connector to our end user, and basically the end user just connect the connector into the Power Apps and also automate analytics and also the channels available that we can publish. Depending on the license that you have limited information that you can publish. For example, in my current license, I only have Microsoft Teams. But if you have a premium license, basically you have multiple channels. If you have your custom website, basically you can use your custom website, or if you need to build a JavaScript connection, basically you can use a mobile app just to connect by using JavaScript. That is a different way when you're using JS to connect the information. And also, if I need to deploy this Copilot into the WhatsApp, probably you can use Twilio to do this integration. And basically, it's really simple to do that. And also after 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you'll be able to see this Copilot into the WhatsApp. And also it's really cheaper as well, because you can expand, if I'm not wrong, is 5 cents per message, if I'm not wrong. It's really, really cheaper when we are talking about WhatsApp and also Copilot Studio as well. Basically, if I go to the knowledge, I can add a new knowledge. As you can see here, we have the public website, files, SharePoint, and OneDrive. It's really important when we are talking about private channels that we must have authentication into the Copilot, because we are not providing this information externally. So if you have a public website and also public files, that's fine. You don't need to use authentication, because in this case it's just a public content that you have. But if you are using a Dataverse, SharePoint, OneDrive, or something like that, Microsoft Fabric in the future, you must have authentication just to ensure that you are using the right tools, connected, the right user, permissions, connected with your data. Renato, if I don't have access to the SharePoint file, and also if my chatbot is connected with the SharePoint file, how can I read this information? Is it possible to do that? No, basically the permissions is connected with the user. So once you connect with the SharePoint database, SharePoint as a data source, basically you need to configure the authentication, and then when the user starts the conversation with the Copilot already know the current user, because if you are using Teams, for example, we have single sign-on. So if you're not using the Teams, for example, if you are deploying to a different channel, the user will be able to log in, sign in into their account, and then see the information available on the Copilot. And then when they tap any message into the Copilot, basically there's a connection. If I'm not wrong, I have a way, an image that it's really it's explaining this process as well. It's a different way, but basically it's kind of the same. Let me check if I have this image here. No, I don't have the image on my side here. But basically, we are calling the information to the Copilot, and then we are sending a message to the Copilot, and the Copilot is looking for into the database. If the user have enough access, basically we are passing the data to the large language model. The large language model is training and also is sending the response to the end user. So basically, that is the process that we have when we are using external knowledge base and also private knowledge base. So as you can see, we have Azure SQL, we have SharePoint Server, Jira, SAP. So we have different actions that and also data sources that we can connect with them. And also, if you have your own data source, you can do your connection as well. There is a way to use custom connector, and basically you can provide this information as well. So when you are using Dataverse, so remember that is in preview yet. Probably you can have different questions and answers, and also different issues. But I was trying to do that, and also it's working as expected. Uh, and also, if you need to connect with your SharePoint list, basically you can connect your SharePoint list with Dataflow connected with Dataverse, and then you can connect Dataverse here by using your new table available. Basically, if you are using a SharePoint, you have a couple of limitations. That is really important to look at the limitations that we have before connecting with your SharePoint site as well. And basically, we can connect with a Microsoft Learn. So let me check if I have a Microsoft Learn Parts. So I have a Portuguese. Let me open the English content. So let me browse, not this one, because this is the Microsoft. Let me open the Microsoft Power Apps documentation, because one important thing is we cannot use public websites with different. So let me open the notepad just to explain this process here. So as you can see here, we have two levels. The first one is the English, and also the second one is the Power Apps. If I need to search anything like Power Platform and then Power Apps, it's not possible yet, because we have three levels in the public website. It's really important to look at this information, because at this stage, Microsoft is looking at the second stage, plus the third one, the fourth, and the following path that we have on this public website. And the first one as well. But it's really important that you can only use two levels yet. You can paste your public website here. You can include as a knowledge base. And basically, I already have a knowledge base into my Copilot. Renato, how can I change the prompt, how can I change the connection, how can I build anything else. So basically you can build your custom topic if you need to customize your system topic. The system topic is just a simple topic. Let me show an existing topic. Basically, we have the phrases available. We can include messages, we can include actions, we can call Cloudflow, we can have different actions. For example, if I press add a node here, I can send a message to the user, I can ask a question, I can ask a question by using adaptive cards, and also with adaptive cards we can customize a lot of information and also provide a form instead of asking different questions to the user by using different responses. Probably we can customize the adaptive cards and also provide this information to the user. We can add a condition. We can use variables if we need, the same as we have for Power Apps, for example, that we can set a variable into the Power Apps application. In this case, we can define a variable into the Copilot Studio as well. Previously, like last year, this action was not possible. Right now, we have this information available. Topic management that we can send to different topics. So if we have a condition like the user send a message, and also depending on the response that we have, we can redirect the user to different topics. We can call an action, we can call an existing Cloudflow, or if we have a connector, you can do the connector as well. And also the plugin that I mentioned that is really useful because we can develop as a product, we can sell as a product, and also the client can install into their environment as a Power Cat kit, and basically they can use as a product. It's really useful if you have a company, and also if you want to do as a product and also sell to different clients. And also the advanced mode that we can call, we can call HTTP request. So in this case, if you need to make an HTTP request to get an external data or provide an external information or provide an external action, you can do it. Send an activity to the user, authenticate. So if you are using, if you are validating, for example, sometimes people, business are using the authenticate mode just to validate the department for the user, and also depending on the department that you have, you can have different actions. So if the user is using in the finance department, so basically we can redirect to a different Copilot and provide a message with the link to connect with finance chatbot instead of using the mainly one. So you can have an architecture to have a master chatbot with different actions inside your Copilot as well. So in this case, if I need to use GenAI, generative answers, basically I can use this first one. So with this first one, basically if I include this topic here, basically I can pass the input into the conversation. Always when we are typing a message to the Copilot, we have the system variables. So in this case, if you need to look at the attachments, the channel that the user is using. So for example, if I need to validate if they are coming from the Teams or from the WhatsApp, I need to do different actions and also have a different conversation because I have a different client. For example, if I have my WhatsApp on the same chatbot, probably I need to have a different actions when we are using Teams. When they are using on Teams, I know that they are using internally, and also I need to provide internal details. Or if I use on WhatsApp, probably I need to provide a public data. So in this case, you can validate this information as well. And also always we have the last activity, last message. That is the variable available that we can get the latest message from the end user. And also we can edit the data source. So when we edit the data source, by default, we can select, by default, they are searching, when we didn't select this information, they are searching always across all knowledge sources that we have, plus the OpenAI, Azure OpenAI. But if I need to select different topics depending on the database that I have, so for example, I can have multiple databases, multiple data sources. So in this case, I can select for this topic, lesson 1 topic, a simple topic. Probably I can select only this Microsoft Learn conversation. And also if I need to build another topic connected with my SharePoint list or my WhatsApp documentation or Power Platform license documentation or something like that, I can choose the knowledge, the resource that I have available as well. And also, by default, we are using, it's in preview yet, but we are using OpenAI connected with the Copilot. But you can turn off, if you turn this information off, basically they are looking only inside the documentation, the knowledge base that you have provided to the Copilot. Otherwise, they're using OpenAI. So if you maintain this on, they are merging the content that you have plus the OpenAI knowledge base. If you turn this off, they are looking only into the internal documentation. Probably if you don't have enough details, it will fail as well. And also we have the classic data. We can connect with a public website. We have the SharePoint site as well that you can paste the link if you want to do it manually to this. So we can choose for public websites and also for Microsoft internal websites as well. So if you want to customize it as well. And also it's really important to look at the content moderation as well. So think that you are building a Copilot, and also you need to think based on the content that you have. So in this case, if you have a lot of information and also have a lot of knowledge base, probably you need to change the information to use medium or high to provide only the information that the user is using. Otherwise, if you have like 2 documents only or 2 public websites, probably you can change the content moderation to low. In this case, your Copilot will try to combine enough details that you have plus with their knowledge base as well. And also, as I mentioned, you can customize your prompts. So for example, I was using the JSON. I was asking an information to the steps by using provide the steps to deploy the Copilot into the teams. So in this case, if I need to use a template like provide by using this template, step ID, step name, so I can provide the information that I have. And also, if you need to combine the information that you already have on the Copilot, you can do that. You can do it. For example, in the demo, I was showing you how can I connect the Cloudflow that I have with the information, extracting the information, the flows, existing workflows on my environment. And probably if I need to customize it by connecting the information that I have with the AI, so I can connect the Gen AI. It's really important to look at the prompt because depending on the tokens that I have on my input, it will fail. So in this case, I need to look at this information always. So in this case, I can pass the input, and the input will be the flow details. So it's just an option that I have, and then I will use this information here. Instead of using high, I can change to low, and then I can change the prompt. So in this case, I can combine the information that I already have. So like flow details. And then instead of using this, you customize the prompt. So in this case, provide Microsoft Power Automate Outflow documentation. Done. So in this case, let me test it. Let me copy. Get flow details. Oh, get flow documentation. Let me test. Demo time. So if you have any questions, you can send the questions in the chat as well. Feel free to ask the questions.
And feel free to come off mute. Anybody have questions or comments so far?
Not so far.
You're doing such a great job, Renato.
Awesome. So in this case, I'm providing the flow ID to the Gen AI, and also probably you need to be careful with the tokens, because if my workflow it's too big, it's too large, probably I need to pass by using different ways instead of using. So as you can see, it was failing to get the information. Probably it was using a different knowledge source and so on. So in this case, let me check the information that I was passing. So I forgot to include the token. Flow details. Here. So as you can see, we have 100 tokens, and also the maximum is 2000. So in this case, we need to be careful when we are passing by using this place here. So if you don't have enough access to do it, probably you can do by using a different way. So let me show you get flow documentation just to explain. And also I can show you another way that you can do it. So let me check if I already have the workflow. Let me check if I have this one. Brent sent a message here. What has been your biggest challenge or mistake you have encountered and implement Copilot? So when I was building um, a Copilot to maintain the history, so it's always a challenge when we need to maintain the history, because, for example, inside the Copilot Studio, basically all information that we have inside the Copilot Studio is saving the data on the Dataverse. So, and basically when the user is typing a message into the conversation in the chat, basically it's saving the history after 6 hours. So in this case, it's always a challenge to look at the history if the user wants to refresh the page and look at the history if they are not using Teams. If they're using Teams, Microsoft Teams is already saving the information. But if you need to provide this Copilot to external public website or external data source or external channel, it's always a challenge to provide this history, because you need to save the history in parallel by using a different data source or by using Dataverse in this case, but you need to save in real time, because if the user refresh the page, you need to load an existing history, and also the chats available for the user. So when I was building an AI assistant for a client, it's always a challenge to look at the histories and also to provide the information, enough details, and also provide the histories, the information, the message, the latest message to the AI, and also pass this information to the Azure OpenAI as well, because to pass the context. Because if you don't have the context, basically always the Copilot will start the conversation. So in this case, if I type anything passing the context on the chat, probably the Copilot will not understand because I'm not saving the history. So it's always a challenge when we are doing it. So as you can see here in the message, so the prompt has exceeded the tokens available. So because these workflow have a lot of information, that is the reason we need to be careful with this type of conversation and also this type of actions that we have, because could fail when we are using directly the OpenAI with my Copilot. Another option that we have, so if I look at the Cloudflow, so you can build another Cloudflow, and basically inside the Copilot Studio, basically you can call an action and create a conversation with the Cloudflow, and basically you can connect the Cloudflow quickly. Let me check if I already have the this Cloudflow available in my another environment. But basically what you can do is, if you need to integrate with Azure OpenAI, basically you can use OAI So let me paste the link in the chat. Basically, this panel here is available if you are using Azure Portal as well. So you have two options. You can open the Azure Portal, and basically you can build your Azure OpenAI. You can create your Azure OpenAI service, and basically you can create from scratch. And basically you can have different models, and also store the information into the subscription, and basically you can pay for it, and basically that's it. Or you can use the link that I sent in the chat. I already have an Azure OpenAI service on my site, and basically I have a couple of deployments available, a couple of models available on my site. So in this case, I have a model to generate images. That is the first one. I have the 3.5 Turbo that is using an old version. I have the new one that is using the GPT-O. And also the last one that I was trying to train YouTube transcriptions. So basically, you can build your new model based on a model, or by using fine tuning as well. So you can choose your model available and also select the new one and confirm and click on this model. Look at the price first. It's really important before pushing the new model available into the chat. So also we have the deployment available after 5 minutes. Otherwise, it's failing when we are trying to talk with the new model. So in this case, what is perhaps? I can send a message to the model, and basically, as you can see, I have a quick response because and also using the latest version and also the latest model. So as you can see, quick response. How can I integrate this information, this Azure OpenAI service, with my custom Copilot Studio? So basically, let me remove this code, this chat here. Basically, as you can see, we have the deployment that we can choose, the deployment, and also we can add our data into this panel here. There is another way to connect the Copilot with my knowledge source. Instead of using the knowledge source inside the Copilot Studio, we can use the Copilot Studio as just a simple message and also simple conversation, and provide the interface to the user, and also use the Azure OpenAI as your knowledge source, as your knowledge base. So in this case, if you need to connect your data source, basically you can use the Azure OpenAI service, and then you can connect your Azure OpenAI service with your Copilot Studio. Basically here we have Azure AI Search that you can use RAG that you can train based on the document that you already have. So for example, I was building a chatbot for a client last year, and also the client was using over 10,000 documents available. And also when I was typing the information by connecting Azure OpenAI with Azure AI Search, in 10 seconds, we already have a message. We already have a document connected and also the reference available on the database as well. So in this case, you can upload the files as well. We can have Azure Blob Storage if you already have a document, and also if you already have a data. And also the best one is the Azure Cosmos DB. That is the best one when we have a lot of data and also a lot of documents available on the knowledge base as well. So basically you can choose your data source, you can choose your subscription, you can create the item and so on, and then you can connect your data here. Once you have your data here connected with your model, basically you can press view code, and also with the view code I have my endpoint point, and also I have different ways to connect with my let me clean the code here first, and then I'll be able to see quickly this information here instead of using different actions. Basically, I have my endpoint, my API key, and also I have the endpoint that I need to ask. And also this information here, basically, if I copy this information and paste into the notepad, you'll be able to see the actions that we have. Basically, I need to pass this information into the HTTP request. as a body into when we are using Power Automate. Basically, we can pass the system prompt if we have a system prompt, and also like you are an AI assistant that helps people to find information. And also we can pass the temperature, we can pass the top. So when we are using the temperature, it's depending on the conversation, the configuration that we have. We have more creativity, and also if we pass like 0.1, we are using the knowledge base only, not using only the information, the provided information, instead of using the external data. And then we can pass these HTTP requests to this API, to this endpoint here, and also including the model. And then you must replace the API key into the headers that you have. So in this case, if you need to do it, basically you can create an action. So just to show an example, and also you can do it later. Just an example that how can you integrate this. So basically, as you can see here, you can paste this URL, we can paste the method, we can change to post, and then we can pass this body here. Let me copy the body. Let me check the JSON that is, instead of using this one, that is better. So we can copy the JSON. We can go back to the body and basically paste the JSON, and also you can remove the system message. And also if you need to include a new role, a new message available in the chat, for example, the user send a message, you can use user, and also you can change this information based on the information on the Copilot information. So basically you can use dynamic details. We can change the temperature and also the headers. That is really important. Otherwise, it's failing to get the information. So you can use the header for this one, apply JSON, and then API key, and then replace with your API key later. Once you do that, the response will be an information, a JSON structure that you can manipulate by using Cloudflow. And also, once you have the output, you have the choices and also the content, the response, and then you can send back to the Copilot and also as an output into the Cloudflow, and also you can read this information into the Copilot as well. We have a question in the chat. What was data source in your project that you mentioned 10K files? So I was using Azure AI Search. So let me show you. I was using Azure AI Search. And basically you can build by using this tool here, or you can build by using the Azure portal. And basically if you open Azure AI Search, Azure AI Search was called Azure Cognitive Services. And basically, as you can see here, this one. With this tool, you'll be able to provide information, and also you can train the information based on the services available. So as you can see here, we have different prices depending on the files that you have. For example, if I need to index the information monthly or weekly, depending on the index that we have different items, and also the storage available. So in this case, as you can see here, in the second price, the basic price, so it's in real, so in Brazilian reais, but if I calculate this to dollars, like $76. So in this case, you have the basic with 15 gigabytes. So in this case, we can have different units and also different actions with different depending on the price tier, depending on the documents that we have available. But basically, you can search quickly and easily based on the information that we have. And also, you can use metadata into the files if you need to search any information, and also metadata into the file as well if you need to do it. Basically, that is the connection. Basically, you can connect different tools. That is the option that we have available when we are using Copilot Studio. And then if we are ready to push the Copilot Studio to a chat channel, basically we can publish this Copilot to a channel, and then we can choose the channel that is available. And then, for example, if I need to publish into the Teams, I can deploy to the Teams. Let me publish this chatbot first. That is the same action that we have for Power Apps. We can have a draft Copilot, and also we can work on the Copilot until we publish. It's not live yet. We have the live version, but we have the draft version. It's not the same that we have for Power Automate Cloudflow. That also we save, it's already live. So we have different actions. It was failing to publish, but it's not a problem because we already have. Let me check here. I was using an old one. Let me go to the demo website. Publish this. And also, it's really important when we are talking about different data sets, because with different data sets, as you can see on the message, the warning message here, because you choose Teams authentication, only Teams channel is available. To use other channels, change authentication settings before use this information. And basically turn on the Teams, and that's it. You can use the Teams chat as a conversation. It's the same as you have the conversation with the end user. And basically this chatbot is available. In 10 minutes, I can build my own chatbot connected with my data source. I can validate as an MVP, as a POC, and then I can connect with the Azure OpenAIs, extend, develop Power Automate, Cloud Flows, and so on if I need to do anything else. So that's it, guys. Any questions?
Any questions so far?
I just
You covered a lot of ground, that's for sure. Oh, go ahead.
I said I just threw one in chat. It's just trying to understand how the data security works. Like if you give a chatbot access to your sales orders, how do you make sure that the people asking the questions about the sales orders have authority to see certain data?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically, if you have, if you are using the Microsoft environment, basically it's based on the security that we already have. Always the Entra ID is connected with the Teams, and also Microsoft 365 as well. So the Microsoft 365 user is connected with the data. If they don't have access to the data, so basically they cannot access the data. If you have your own database, your own data source, probably you need to customize the security in this step here. So for example, we have two options. The first option is to look at the, for example, if you already have your system into the Power Platform solution as a custom connector, probably you need to look at the data loss prevention, the data loss policies into the Power Platform admin center, and then you can manipulate, you can check that only the available users will be able to look at the information that you have. The second option, that you need to manipulate the information into the chatbot. So during the conversation, we know the user. So in this case, if I open the topic, just a simple topic, just to let you know. If I add any action here, so let me open the message. So I think it's better to show you. So if I select this action here, I can open the system. And also in the system, I have the bot name, the bot schema, the conversation ID, the last message, but we have the user ID that is using enter ID, the user first name, and also the user email. So with the user email, if you have your own database, basically before searching the information, probably you can ask an endpoint to check if the user have enough access. So in this case, before connecting your database, probably you can check if the user has enough access to the order, and then you can provide the details to the user. So in this case, they can search anything. Before responding the user to the with the data, probably you can check if the user has enough access to the information. And also, that is the reason that I was using, let me show you just to complement this answer. That is the reason that I was using the JSON as the output for my endpoint. Because with the response, let me show you the web content. With this topic here, as you can see, I'm asking the user, and also I'm passing a prompt into the Copilot. Let me open the YAML. That is better to show you. Basically, I was passing this prompt. You act as a JSON specialist and need to provide an array result with the step-by-step on the user question. Here's a template that you must use. So in this case, I'm passing the template, step, and also the action that I want to have the response. And then, if I need to manipulate this information, pass the JSON to the Cloudflow to check the information that we have, the data, the order, plus the user ID or the author or the department or something like that, you can pass to the Cloudflow, or you can manipulate this information into your Copilot Studio as well. Because one example that I have here, with this topic here, as you can see, I have a for each action that is available on the Copilot Studio as well by using snippets. With these for each action, I can check based on the JSON structure if each item is available on the conversation, if each item is available for the current user. So in this case, you can connect the security with the data that we have.
Okay. So I understand this model if you're using Teams as the host for Copilot. Is there any ability to put Copilot chatbots on like public websites? And how would you get security information through there or identify the user?
Yeah, basically, if you have any private database connected with your Copilot, you need to authenticate always the user. So it's not available to use. It's not available to use your SharePoint data, for example, is public into the public website, and also the user is not connected with the Entra ID. So in this case, you can push your Copilot to a public website, and also if the user is asking anything connected with GenAI, connected with your SharePoint data or Dataverse data, basically it's asking the user to authenticate first, and then they will be able to reach the data. But you can have a public website, you can have your chatbot with two actions. The first action to have public data, and also the second action to use your custom information that the user must authenticate it first.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Any other questions? Well, with that, how about we all come off mute, turn on our cameras, and give Renato a huge round of applause. Thank you, Renato, for being here so late and for going so deep and so wide on Copilot Studio.
Yeah,
thanks for the opportunity.
Well, we hope to have you back. Hopefully one day we'll see you in Portland, Oregon, or around if you're in the Seattle area going to your MVP Summit. But again, thank you so much for your time.